Thanks to the support as a channel member, A.D. Richardson. Oh, Mrs Wearmouth, it is good to be back in my normal morning slot. Normal schedule resumes on the channel this week. Exciting times ahead. Yeah, I've still not gone back to wearing suits. Yeah, there is an air conditioner behind me. It's really nice for between the bits where the camera is on, but I've got to keep recording in t-shirts because when the camera's rolling, you can't really have this noise running in the background. So yeah, although we've got an air conditioner, can't actually use it when I'm making the videos. So t-shirts will remain until it gets cold again. Yeah, nothing I can do about it. Hello and welcome to part 123 of Homegrown. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the Premier League. We're at home against Newcastle and away against Bournemouth as we try to continue our push towards European qualification for next season. Our form just lately has been pretty solid, actually, going into the game against Norwich, which we then lost 5-3. But until then, form had been pretty good. We've got knocked out of a cup by Southend for the second time this season. I don't know what they've got over us. I don't know why we keep losing to Southend. They're mid-table in League One, but this season they've now knocked us out of the Carabao Cup and they've knocked us out of the FA Cup. Sandro Veloso always scores against them, though, apparently, which is a useful thing to have. What was even better, though, is Sandro Veloso made his Premier League debut the game before and scored 2 goals against Liverpool. And we absolutely smashed Liverpool there. So Veloso exploding into the team at that point. 2 goals from 2 substitute appearances in the Premier League. Both of them were in that game against Liverpool. So Veloso looks like he might be another one who is going to be a very useful striker for us in the coming years. We're starting to get a collection now. We spent so long searching for strikers. We've now got a number of them who've all arrived at the same time. And we've now just got to work out what combination of them to use. At the moment, I'm still using the 4-2-3-1. I have been switching to the 4-2-4 occasionally in-game, though, and sticking Bayer or Veloso or, what's-his-face, Francisco up front with Villalobos, or even taking Villalobos and going Villalobos off and going for other combinations of 2s up front. So I think you might see a switch to a 4-2-4 at some point. It's actually a 4-2-4 variant of this system that we used to win the Champions League with Sheffield United in my Twitch save recently. So I know it works if you've got the 4. You've got to have 4 really good attacking players because you've got to outscore your opposition because you don't really have much in the way of a midfield. So I think to really switch over to the 4-2-4, we've got Gregoire in midfield. We need a real top-tier box-to-box midfielder alongside him. And we need all of the 4 attacking players to maybe be just a year older so that they're a little bit more dominant. And then I think we can probably go to the 4-2-4, but not quite. Not quite, but we are nearly there. This is what the Premier League looks like. We're 7th at the moment, 28 games gone, so 10 games remaining in the season. And we look to be settling into 7th place with 5 points behind Bournemouth, who are up in 6th. So we are going to need a little bit of help from cup winners to make sure that 7th is enough to get us into the Europa League or the Europa Conference League. I'm not sure which one this qualifies us for. It's not unreasonable that we could finish 5th or 6th. We're unlikely to finish any higher than that. And I'd like to think we're not going to finish any lower than 8th. West Ham are only 3 points behind us, but then there's a 7-point gap between us and Everton, who are down in 9th place. So fingers crossed we should be recording, at least equaling our record at finishing the Premier League, if not exceeding it. And hopefully we'll end up qualifying for Europe as well in whatever flavour that presents itself. But to do that, we need to keep our good form going, ignore what happened against Norwich, and try and get a win here against Newcastle today. So the team for this match is Williams in goal, a back 4 of Peresato, Anderson, Fazekas and Thomas, Gregoire and Oliveira in midfield, Richards, Perez and Park behind Villalobos up front. Kennan Richardson is injured. He's got a gashed lower leg, so he picked that up against Norwich. So Richards is coming in again for him today. And Alabasic is having an injury-ravaged season. He's not played very much football for us at all at the moment. They're not serious injuries. It's just little niggly bits here and there that he's never quite fully fit. He's only started 13 of our 28 league games this season. He could be that box-to-box midfielder to go alongside Gregoire. He just needs to get fit. That's him that's him as a box-to-box midfielder. Not really a weakness there as a box-to-box midfielder. He's 6 foot. He's got pretty decent physicals. He's got decent stamina, good work rate. The only thing he can't do is tackle, but Gregoire can do that. Ali Basic is going to be more of a force going forward for us. We just can't get him fit. All those years where he was playing every game as a striker, even though he wasn't very good at it, his position is right there in the team now, and he's just not making it his own. Meanwhile, Oliveira is playing a lot of football as a central midfielder for us this season. Started most games that he's been available for, and most of them have been in central midfield. So if Ali Basic's not careful, Oliveira is gonna steal what should be his position, the position we've been grooming him for a long, long time. That's Oliveira as a box-to-box midfielder, which, I mean, should we do a comparison? Should we have a look at the two of them? So you've got slightly better mentals from Ali Basic, much better in the air. Oliveira better technically, as you'd imagine. He's Brazilian. But Ali Basic better going forward, better vision. Oliveira's quicker, and they've got exactly the same on their physicals. So, I mean, either of them can do the job. And if Ali Basic doesn't sort himself out, it's going to end up being Oliveira. He's 4 years younger. He's the one in possession at the moment. This is the team anyway. So let's go play Newcastle, hopefully pick up a win, and hopefully start to push up towards that top 6, because I think top 6 probably guarantees us Europe. Top 7, you are hoping for other results to go your way. Specifically, you need someone in the top 6 to win the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. And I don't know who's getting into that. I mean, the Carabao Cup presumably is already dealt with at this point. We're into March. Usually the final happens in February, doesn't it? Or am I making that up? So what's going on with this piece of hair? So I'd like to think someone in the top 6 has already won that. We could probably check in on that. And if they have, then there's a good chance 7th place will be enough for Europe. And like I say, we don't care what kind of Europe it is. We're at that point, though, where we just want some kind of Europe, because it's the next step, isn't it? You've got to start progressing forward. If we're going to keep the likes of Fazekas, Villalobos, Park, the Gregoire, our better players, if we're going to keep these guys at the club, we've got to be offering them European football, or they'll all end up doing an Abagai and we'll have to start building again. And the last thing we want to do now, as it feels like we're entering the end game, is having to rebuild the entire team for a second time in the Premier League. Newcastle have got a penalty here, and they've scored it to go 1-0 up, and we are getting a little bit sloppy defensively in recent matches. We lost 5 goals against Norwich in the last game, and now we've given away a penalty that we probably didn't need to give away against Newcastle, and we're leaving ourselves with uphill battles. And I don't like uphill battles. Let's try and grab ourselves an equaliser. Pronto. Perez shooting from range. He got the memo. He's trying to grab us that equaliser pronto and forces the corner. It's going to be Oliveira who goes out to take it. We've got the big boys lurking at the near post, but the corner eludes all of them, and Ola Richards picking it up again, finding Perez. Richards has been playing quite a lot of football this year because of injury problems with Richardson. Have we just won a penalty of our own? No. See, they've actually done a proper tackle that time. Todd Thomas forcing his way forward on that right-hand side, as he does so often. He really is my best right back at this point. I think it's gone from at the start of the season. Shall we give Todd Thomas a try? Right, he's one of our fullbacks for the next however many seasons. Who's going to be the other one? Because Thomas can play on either side. And he's kind of assumed that Perisato role. That's what we were saying about him previously. And now he's just one of the others who might get the job long term. Meanwhile, we're 2-0 down. It's come down Perisato's side again. And I'm going to fall out with this boy because he gave away the penalty. And I mean, he's absolutely not at fault for this. Who's that? That's Gregoire's let the ball go past him. It was Perez with a poor header. There's a number of them who are guilty of some pretty poor defending there. But ultimately, it came down our left-hand side. Both goals have come down Perisato's wing, so we're going to blame him. Not only are we going to blame him, we're probably going to go to the 4-2-4 at half-time. Even though Perez has been our best player, Perez is likely to be the one who misses out as part of us doing that, because this has not been okay. We'll point the finger and do that, and we are going to sling another striker on. Perez is going to come off. Can Perez play central midfield? He can. I've never actually played him there. maybe we slot him in there because he's been better than Oliveira today. So let's play him in central midfield. And then we'll put Veloso on up front, who's the man in form at the moment. He's the man in the goals. Although he also wants to be an advanced forward, just like Villalobos does. So maybe we'll actually bring Bayer on. And Veloso can come on for Villalobos if this doesn't work. But we'll go with Bayer initially because Bayer is the guy who's the pressing forward. Although Bayer's not really been scoring lately. Ugh. It's not a great situation to be in. We're going to go attacking as well, if I can press the right buttons. There we go. So that's what we're going with. And we're going to demand more. And fingers crossed, we can go out and grab ourselves 3 goals in this second half. That's what we're looking for. It's not enough just to get back into the game. We're at home against a team we're better than. We should be beating them. And we've got 45 minutes to sort ourselves out and make sure that we do. Thomas has got all the time in the world to pick his man from the cross. Apparently he picked a Newcastle player, which is an interesting choice. And Gregoire plays it back to Fazekas, who gives it back to Thomas again. He's going to get another opportunity for the cross. But it ends up with Perez again. And there's Bayer. And Chancel Bayer is finally back in the goals. He's been on 10 minutes. He's the man who stands to benefit the most from a switch to 4-2-4, if that's what we end up doing, because he's the one striker who offers us something a little bit different to all the little nippy forwards that we've got. Bayer will be starting if we switch to that system. One of the reasons I'm reluctant to do it, which I didn't really mention before, is that Bayer's been so poor this year. So it seems silly to switch to a system to suit him when he's not been in much form. But if he's going to start banging the goals in again, maybe we will switch to it this year. We are going to bring Veloso on as well, as threatened. And we're also going to bring on Wally to play on this left-hand side. It doesn't really suit him, but we can play him out there as an inside forward, I'm sure, or even a playmaker out there. He does always seem to want to be a playmaker. We'll leave him as an inside forward. And that's Park. See, Park would be great as an inside forward, but I haven't been training him to play there. So I don't want to sling him over there straight away. Wally's got much more experience. Several years older, played lots of games for us now. Come on, boys, there's got to be at least one more goal in us today. Fazekas playing it across to Anderson. Anderson to Perisato, and Perisato forward to Bayer. The one thing we have got on this left-hand side now is we're playing with an inside forward and an inverted wing-back. We don't have much width on that left-hand side. Perez with the cross. Bayer's there again. Park is there. Everyone's having a shot. Perez now. 4 of them there, all just having shots. If only one of them had passed it to Veloso, who was pretty much unmarked, just stood there waiting for the ball on the other side of the penalty area for the tap-in. But everyone decided to go it alone and everybody failed. Perez now with the corner. In-swinger to the near post and Jörn Anderson's there. It's 2-2 on 85 minutes. And with another at least 5 or 6 minutes of this game to go, the opportunity is now there for us to turn this around and grab ourselves one more goal and secure the victory. It's a good header from Anderson. And now just keep on pushing, boys. We've got a throw now. It's Perisato on the left. Veloso playing it back to Gregoire. Wally now across to Perez, but Perez couldn't get there, but he does win the ball back. Good work from Perez. And now Thomas with the chance to cross again. He plays it across goal. Park is there, and Park scores his 6th goal since arriving with us in January. He's scoring for fun, and we've got 2 goals in 2 minutes. It's Holme 3, Newcastle 2. The 4-2-4 has turned it all around. We've got to do it next game now, haven't we? I said we're probably not going to do it this season, but we were so poor until we switched the system, and we have turned this match on its head with just a little bit of a change to how we're playing. Let's hope Newcastle don't go and grab an equaliser here, because that really does put a little bit of a dampener on my excitement. Perisato, though, is there to intercept, and we're just heading forward again. Everyone's first thought is get the ball forward. It's almost as if we're on an attacking mentality. And it's going to be a little bit of a problem when they get the ball and run at us the way they are now, but they're shooting from range. Alex Williams, not troubled by that in the slightest. And that should be enough for us to wrap up the victory. A victory that our first half performance definitely didn't deserve, but we looked like a different side in that second half. I think we probably need a tactic change. Here we go then, folks. A tweaked version of the Sheffield United system off of Twitch. It's a 4-2-4. All we've done to tweak it, we've kept the inverted wing back in. In the Sheffield United version, this was an inside forward on this side, but we've kept Richardson as a winger with Peresato as the inverted wing back. Todd Thomas is going to be a wing back, and Park is going to play as an inside forward. Even though he's a right footer, his actual best position in that role is inside forward. So I've never played an inside forward with their right foot on their right side before. We'll see if it works. He scores a lot of goals. So he's going to play as the inside forward. And then we're going to play Francisco as a complete forward alongside an advanced forward, Villalobos. It might work. It might not. We might end up going back to something a little bit closer to what we used against Newcastle. But I figured if we're going to go to the 4-2-4, we may as well go to a version of the tried and tested one that has won us the Champions League with a team that had only been in the Premier League for 2 years. I know we didn't have the transfer restrictions with Sheffield United, so we were able to sign all of the 19, 20-year-old wonder kids who were ready to take on Europe. It's a little bit different in this save, but there's no reason why this can't be a very, very useful system with this bunch of players. Villalobos dancing into the penalty area. People have been saying in the comments for a long time, Villalobos just needs a strike partner. I mean, that move had nothing to do with him having a strike partner. He might just be happy to have Francisco there with him and decided to go on a little dance with the football. I'm okay with it. If it cheers him up and makes him turn into the striker I really hope he'll become, then that is fine by me, because he should be scoring more than 5 or 6 goals a season. He should be far better. I mean, we've come very close to conceding there. Bournemouth are the team in possession in 6th place at the moment. So it is an odd game for us to start experimenting in. But Park and Francisco have combined well here. They played it across to Richardson when Francisco really should have just kept going, I think. It was a weird pass. But Park and Francisco overloading the Bournemouth defender. Park had come very narrow because obviously he's now playing as an inside forward, and Francisco had dropped deep. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that they were almost on top of each other. It certainly helped us get into that position, but then Francisco didn't seem to really know what to do with it. And now Bournemouth have gone 1-0 up. I wonder if Francisco's a bit further forward or Park's a little bit wider. Do we end up 1-0 up there? I don't know. But I mean, there's no stopping that. That's a very good effort from Bournemouth. And we're 1-0 down. Let's not read too much into it just yet. Richardson with the cross. Remember, we were 2-0 down at home against Newcastle, playing the 4-2-4. Let's not abandon the new system straight away, which, of course, is always my first instinct whenever we try anything new and it doesn't work immediately, even though I am fully aware tactical familiarity is a thing. Gregoire, ball over the top, looking for the run of Villalobos. The run wasn't there, unfortunately. And now Bournemouth playing the ball forward, but Anderson should have this comfortably covered. He plays it across to Fazekas, and now Peresato, who's basically playing as a holding midfielder. He's coming so central there. He's stood alongside Gregoire. We've got a couple of areas of the pitch where we've got players getting on top of each other. I think I might need to tweak things around a little bit if we're going to make this work, because if Gregoire's going to drop deep and then Peresato's going to get on top of him, it does say Gregoire should probably be playing on the other side. But then Gregoire's left-footed as well, so I don't really want him playing on the other side. I do want him playing as the playmaker. But does it really work with an inverted fullback behind him? So many questions. Francisco has done well here. This time he has decided to go for the shot, when that time he probably should have had the pass. 2 poor pieces of decision-making from Francisco so far. I'm not going to criticise him too much, but I think I probably want Bayer in that position, playing as the pressing forward, because he was so effective in the previous game. And we've tried to go a little bit too close to what we did with Sheffield United when we had different kinds of strikers. And yeah, it's not working, is it? That guy's got 33 goals already for Bournemouth. It's March. How have they got a 33-goal striker? What on earth? He's never even played for Brazil. He's been there 10 years nearly. So they signed him as a teenager. I mean, I know we weren't in a position to compete with them back then, but I mean, the lesson here is look what Villalobos could become when he's 27, because he started slow-ish, and it's only in the last, it's this season really, that he's really, really stepped up and become a superstar. Right, this isn't working. There's not much I can do at this point other than just let Bournemouth thump us. I've got to give them longer than half an hour. The 4-2-4 worked against Bournemouth, against Newcastle. It's definitely not working against Bournemouth. Oh, my word. 4-0 down after 33 minutes. Anyone calling for the 4-2-4, this is going to be where I refer you back to every time people call for that for a little while, because we've got to go back to our normal. Oh, what am I doing? Do not use match plan. I don't even know what a match plan is. I've never done one. Right, we're going back to the normal tactic in the hope of saving some face somehow, some way. Francisco's going to be the guy who gets hauled off here. It's not that he's played spectacularly badly compared to everybody else. It's just that he's the guy who was brought in. The system hasn't worked. So he's the guy who can come out again. Villalobos back to playing up front on his own. Perez can slot back in behind him. And hopefully the world stops falling apart the way it has in the first half an hour of that game. That has been terrible. Just absolutely terrible. I thrashed the arms. I've told them as such. And it's going to cost us Europe. Getting spanked like this by the team who are directly above us, this is the kind of thing that costs you a place in Europe. And we're not going to make a comeback in this game the way we did against Newcastle. We've just been too poor in this match. Richardson across to Perez. Oliveira now to Thomas. Maybe this is where the comeback begins. We've got about 25 minutes to score 4 goals with no reply. It seems unlikely, doesn't it? Perisato now to Fazekas. Weirdly, Perisato and Gregoire don't get in each other's way playing this 4-2-4, even though they're both playing exactly the same role. So I don't understand how they've been able to do it all season and it's been fine in the 4-2-3-1 and it wasn't fine in the 4-2-4. It's no sense. Right, let's get Bayer on. And I mean, I want to take off everybody. Poor old Park. He's been brilliant and I've ruined him by making him an inside forward. That's his confidence gone forever now. I've broken everybody. Bayer's going to go on the right. Belosso's going to go up front. And we're just clutching at straws a little bit here. And Bournemouth have been phenomenal. That guy Santos has got a hat-trick. Belosso's now injured. So, yeah. That's it. I mean, sounds about right. It all seems legit. Well, this is the worst spanking we've had in a long time. Moral of the story? Never, ever fiddle with tactics, boys and girls. And don't just import a tactic from a different save thinking it'll work with this group of players. Ugh. Right, what's wrong with Veloso? He's out for a month. Park is now able to perform well as a right winger. Well, we knew that. Ah, dear. Right. I think we're probably just going to come back for the last 2 games of the season now. So it looks like Manchester City won the Carabao Cup. We're looking solid for 7th. We're probably not going to finish any higher than that. I don't know if 7th's going to be enough. We'll find out tomorrow when we play Chelsea and West Ham. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.